Willem Dafoe spotted at costume fitting for Thunderbolts movie. Okay, and basically they have a photo of Willem Dafoe coming out on the Thunderbolts set apparently, and so no one's really covered this, but I thought that we should talk about it. Number one, because I mean, algorithm, no one's talking about it, so we should. But so we're gonna talk about the possibility of Willem Dafoe being in Thunderbolts. Jerry, if Willem Dafoe is secretly in the Thunderbolts, how number one, how would you feel about that? And number two, what does this mean for the Marvel Cinematic U?
So it means a lot because, like, there are multiple storylines where Norman Osborn ends up. So he's been involved with two super teams. Number one, the Dark Avengers, but he also reformed the Thunderbolts, and he was like the head of Hammer, and he also took over Stark Industries. And I think that would be a really cool storyline for the MCU because, in No Way Home, Stark Industries was basically under legal attack, after the wreck with Mysterio and all that. So they're kind of in a vulnerable situation, and you could do something where Norman Osborn, exercises his enterprise and flexes like his wealth and his business acumen and takes over Stark Industries and kind of reforms like the Thunderbolts, who are kind of a super team, but they're also kind of like mercenary, meaning like they'll technically do whatever's in their interest, whether it's like good or bad. So they're not really superheroes, but they're not really villains. So they're kind of like anti-hero in that gray area because they'll do the right thing if it's in their interest, but they'll also do the bad thing if it's in their interest. And that's, what makes Norman Osborn such a great character in these situations. And quite frankly, when I realized that, like, hey, they're doing a Thunderbolts movie without Norman Osborn, like, that was crazy to me because the second you put Norman Osborn on that Thunderbolts roster, it's an entirely different movie, and Norman Osborn is the king of that movie. I promise you that.
How do you feel about Willem Dafoe possibly being Norman in the MCU?
I think Willem Dafoe is a great actor, and I think he played a great Norman Osborn in the movies that he has been in. I don't know if I'm sold on him for this movie. I think that, I'd like to see someone who is like, I think Willem Dafoe fits the supervillain Green Goblin character really well, but I'd like to see someone who is more of like a
suave type guy. Yeah.
Suave, Fortune 500, enterprise, entrepreneurial character. And I just don't know that Willem Dafoe plays that role that well. And I think that, listen, he did a great job, but I think he's a better Green Goblin than he is Norman Osborn in terms of the enterprise side of the character.
Yeah. So for you, you have to see it on screen for you to make a actual decision.
But if Willem Dafoe is playing Norman Osborn in Thunderbolts, I'm still hyped about it. But I think that they could probably pick someone better.
Yeah, and younger. I would like someone younger. I do think that it's still dope that they're even going this route. In general, if this is true, and this just shows the fact that you and I talk about like you and I have always said, like Feige talked about there's changes. Now we have to see it. These are the changes that as fans we want to see. Like, we want to see rumors of Norman Osborn being in the freaking Thunderbolts. We want to see rumors of certain characters coming back in Captain America and seeing mutants and possibly in Brave New World. Like, these are things that we want to see. So, Feige, we're going to let you cook, bro. We're going to let you cook. So we hope that Norman is in this. And you're right. Norman Osborn being in this film takes the MCU and this movie down a whole different lane. this is a whole different story at the like
something that's fresh and new, by the way.